Steve G. Jones here. I am a clinical hypnotherapist. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, a master's, and a doctorate in education, and I'm here to educate you about hypnosis. What is hypnosis? How can it be used? If you have any questions about hypnosis, perhaps you heard hypnosis was helpful for some sort of condition that you have, or perhaps someone else is interested in going to a hypnotherapist and you have questions about that. Maybe you want to become a hypnotherapist. Any questions that you have about hypnosis, I'm here to answer, and I'm here as your resource 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And it's my pleasure and my honor to be here to answer any questions that you may have, to clear up any confusion that you may have, to set the record straight. And in a lot of cases, what that means is I refer you to a medical doctor, because a lot of questions that I hear are actually questions that should be addressed to a medical doctor. I want to make very clear that a hypnotherapist is, in most states in the United States, not a licensed professional, such as a clinical psychologist or a psychiatrist or a marriage and family therapist. So oftentimes you will hear me referring you higher to someone higher. I think of hypnotherapy as kind of like an oil change. You know, you go to the oil change expert and that's what they do. They change the oil. Out with the old, in with the new. So hypnotherapy is a lot like that. Out with the negative habits, in with the new positive habits. Out with the negative ideas, in with the positive ideas. But beyond that, when we get into long-term therapy and deep counseling, we want to refer you to someone else for that. That would be in the realm of a licensed therapist. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for being here, and let's go ahead and check in. By the way, if you're just joining for the first time, go ahead and subscribe. Even if you're watching a replay of this, you can subscribe so you'll know when I'm on next. And if you're watching now, which you are, if you're hearing my voice and seeing me, go ahead and like this video and share this video. We want the word to get out there about this resource that is here, which is me. I'm here, Steve G. Jones, clinical hypnotherapist, 3 days a week to help you on your way to clear up any confusion. Kathy, hello to you. Carolyn, hello to you. Good to see you too. Brenda, hello. Ms. Fonte, hello to you. Beth says, hi, Dr. Steve. Hello from a local coffee shop in Wisconsin. I'm finally getting a chance to work on my novel. Outstanding. I love Wisconsin. There's a speakeasy in Wisconsin that I went to that was really interesting. I was there on a conference presenting some research when I was working on my master's degree in, I believe it was 2006. I was there, and a director friend of mine, Kevin Elliott, happened to be in town also. He was in Chicago, and he came up to Wisconsin. I got a break from presenting, and we went to the speakeasy, which was really cool. It was something from, you know, the days of Prohibition, and you go in a secret passageway, and when you leave, I think you go out through a phone booth or something. So it was all made to retain its essence as it had in the Prohibition days, and it was a functioning legal bar at the time. Very interesting. So Wisconsin, good place. Ulysses, hello to you from McAllen, Texas. All right, I was in Texas recently. Suzanne says hello to you. And Megilla, hello. Liliana, hello to you. Lauren says, can it help someone who gets emotional over everything? Okay, so that's a question. Can hypnosis help with someone who gets emotional over everything? So let's go ahead and take this as a question. I believe this is a very important question. Lauren says, can hypnosis help someone who gets emotional over everything? Well, as I always say, when it's anything that is medical or might be medical, you want to talk to your medical doctor first. Your primary care physician. You want to go to him or her and see what they have to say. They may want to send you to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, or they may recommend some sort of talk therapy. You should listen to your medical doctor. You should also mention that you have an interest in hypnosis when you're talking with your medical doctor, and mention that I have a recording for helping you feel better. We call it Overcome Sadness. And that can be very helpful for you. That can be very beneficial for you because it can help you get over what you're dealing with. But you never use hypnosis in the place of mainstream medical help. So if you've got a medical doctor, you want to go to your medical doctor first. You want to talk to them about the situation. You want to describe to them what's going on. You want to pay attention to what they have to say. And then you can, of course, decide for yourself, but also at that time mention that you have an interest in hypnosis. Probably what they will say, a standard answer would be something along the lines of, well, let's go ahead and proceed with what I want you to do, meaning with what the medical doctor wants you to do. But in addition to that, feel free to use hypnosis because it can't hurt. So that's probably what they'll say, but I don't want to second guess your doctor. You need to go and talk to them first. But the good news is that with their blessing, I do have a recording on that, which will help you overcome sadness, help you feel better, get you into the positive state of mind more often. But if you're emotional about everything, this could be something beyond what we would typically call sadness, and the doctor may have a diagnosis beyond that and may have a protocol for working with you beyond that. That would be something that I do not offer. So thank you for that question, Lauren. All right, let's see here. Valerie says, hello, Dr. Jones, and to all the positive ladies and gentlemen watching. All right, I love it. Priya says, hi, Dr. Steve, hello to you. Roselli says, hello, Dr. Steve, good night. All right, hello and good night to you. Leah says, good evening, Dr. Steve G. Jones. Good evening to you. Carolyn says, just got back from Las Vegas. It was fabulous. All right. I was there not too long ago, and I have to agree with that. I was talking for Hypnothoughts Live, which happens once a year, and it's promoted by some wonderful people. Scott Sandland is in charge of it. Also have Richard Clark helping out, and Richard Nongard, all of them playing key instrumental roles in getting it going. And what a wonderful turnout had there in Las Vegas. Over 1,000 people, I believe. I wasn't counting, but there were a lot of people, and it was an honor for me to present a 1-hour workshop and then a two-day long class, and that was really wonderful. So Hypnothoughts Live, if you haven't been, happens once a year, and so far it's been in Las Vegas every time. But yeah, we had a fabulous time in fabulous Las Vegas. Kim says hello to you, Kim. Cecilise says shared. All right, well, thank you for sharing the video. If you're just joining, please go ahead and like this video if you like it, and share it, because we want the word to get out there about the resource that you have 3 days a week, which is me answering your questions about hypnosis. Arbor says, hello, Dr. Steve. How to prevent oneself from self-hypnosis from our little voice in our head? Okay, so here we have a question that I'm going to rephrase a little bit. Arbor asks, says, hello, Dr. Steve. How do we prevent ourselves from self-hypnotizing ourselves with that little voice in our head? So that's a very, very good question. And Wayne Dyer, who was just a wonderful person, wrote extensively on this idea, the idea of that inner voice and how to deal with it. You know, psychologists and psychiatrists used to think that when you talk to yourself, or when you hear things or hear thoughts in your head, that meant something was not quite right. We now realize that it is normal for you to have a dialogue inside your head where you're debating things, you're figuring out things, you're weighing things. What would not be normal, of course, is for you to imagine a voice coming from an external source and or seeing someone with that voice who is not there. So that's not what I'm talking about when I'm talking about hearing voices in your head. So when we talk about the idea of hearing voices and getting in tune with the idea that it's okay to have that voice going on, sometimes that little voice is telling us things, and we're all familiar with this, saying, no, you can't do it. You're not good enough. You're not strong enough. That's not going to work out. Why take that chance? Why upset the status quo? Why go from here to here if it means that you're going to put yourself through trouble? You're going to have to give up some comforts. You're going to have to invest in yourself. You're going to have to disrupt your life. And so we tend to hold back if that little voice in our head is telling us, no, you can't do it. So you really have to look within and decide, sometimes that little voice is attempting to save you from something which actually could be something that's not good for you. Now, usually what's happening is that little voice is what I call the thermostat. The thermostat goes off when you get uncomfortable. You're going into a zone where you've got more money than you're comfortable with. You're losing more weight than you're comfortable with. You're becoming more attractive than you're comfortable with because of various reasons. But the basic reason is you don't feel comfortable there. And so you've got to reprogram your subconscious mind so that you do. So on the one hand, and in both cases, the little voice is just trying to help. It just wants to help. It wants to save you from getting hurt. But sometimes the little voice in your head thinks that if you lose weight, you're going to get unwanted attention. It's going to cause stress for you. It's going to cause challenges. If you gain money, well, people are going to look at you differently. You're going to lose some of your friends because you'll be out of rapport with them, because you'll be the rich person and they'll still be wherever they were. You might lose friends. You might get unwanted attention. These types of things start going off in your head. So when the little voice talks and it's like that, and you can realize, okay, little voice is just scared of the next level, and that's okay. Then you can push through it with hypnosis. My hypnosis recording for unlimited confidence and also my recording for unlimited motivation are going to be very good for you there. But sometimes that little voice is actually attempting to save you from actual pain. And there's something that maybe you consciously overlooked that you're not realizing. For example, buying a house in a bubble, something like that. We look in the past at various real estate crashes, and what we see right before it happens is everybody's getting excited. Oh goodness, everybody's doing this. I should too. And my fear, I've got to push through that, and I've just got to make this happen. Well, that little voice was attempting to tell you that, hey, maybe it's not the best time to do this. So you've really got to take that voice and start to analyze it and see which side it's on. Is it really saving you from trouble, or is it just scared of progress? If it's just scared of progress, then my unlimited confidence and unlimited motivation recordings would help you tremendously in pushing through that, because it'll happen again and again. Believe me, there's no stopping point. There's no point you get at in your life where you say, I'm at the top. It just doesn't happen. Who's at the top? Who's the best person in the world? I don't know. We can count money. We can say who has the most money in the world, but who's made the most contribution? Who's shared the most? I don't know the answer to that. And you will never reach a point in your life where you feel that that's it, that you've done it all, you've seen it all, you've given it all, because there's always more to give. As long as you're alive and living and breathing, there's always a next level you can go to if you want to. So it's going to come up again and again. So I suggest getting in the habit of breaking through barriers. That way you can just move up like this rather than having a jagged rise to the top. You can move up much more smoothly. So thank you for that question. Let's go ahead and move on, and in a little bit I'm going to share something with you. I got a special present from someone. I want to share that with you. A lady named Pam Miller sent me some paintings, and I want to share that with you in a little bit. Let's see. Thank you, Arbor, for that question. Roselli says, thank you, you're welcome. Carol says, hello, good afternoon. You too. Edie, hello to you. Neelan, hello. Oh, there's Pam. I was just talking about you. Hi, Dr. Steve. Hope you're well and having a great day. Good to see you and hear your live broadcast. All right, Pam Miller, thank you for being here. And in just a little while, I'm going to show everyone what you sent me, which is absolutely wonderful. Pam is an artist. I'll be talking about her website and her work that she sent to me, and just a wonderful person. Jahira, hello. Debbie says hello from Tampa Bay, Florida. All right, I was in St. Pete not too long ago, filming with one of the sharks from Shark Tank. And Ms. Fonte says, hello, Stevie. My Aunt Marion used to call me Stevie. and I always kind of like that. But haven't been called Stevie in a long time. She called me that when I was a kid. Hello, Stevie. Who knows when you come to Brazil will pass your sessions okay? All right. Well, I don't know when Stevie will be in Brazil, but it's good to know I'm welcome there. Caroline says, I went to the Mafia Museum whilst in Las Vegas. Okay, I've been there also, the Mob Museum, I think it is, has a very interesting ending, by the way, so get a little surprise at the end. I don't want to give it away, but if it was the same museum that I went to, it was interesting. Shervin says, hello, Dr. Steve, can you tell us more about muscle testing, which is about energy? Okay, Shervin, I will, if I do something on muscle testing, I will do a special on that, and I'd prefer to have someone who's an expert at it. I can teach the basics on muscle testing. I was introduced to it by a therapist friend of mine in about the year 2001, I believe it is, who showed me how to do that, and I've been fascinated with it ever since 2001. But I'd rather, since we're primarily focused on answering hypnosis questions here, Shervin, sometimes coaching and NLP questions, but I'd rather save that for a special broadcast, because muscle testing is so fascinating and so amazing that if I just do a little bit and share a little bit, people might not even believe it, because it's that, and if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, Shervin. It's that fascinating. So I would need more time to fully explain what's actually happening. But thank you for that question, Shervin. Ves says, hey doc, hello to you. Yvonne says, can hypnosis help in self-healing? Yes, it can. I'm not talking about overcoming fears or phobias. I mean a psychosomatic way, for example, changing your life for the better and self-forgiveness. Okay, so when we talk about psychosomatic, what we're talking about, psycho means mind, somatic means body. So we're talking about something where your thoughts are affecting your body. Maybe you have a pain in your right arm, but it's psychosomatic. It's caused because you're thinking there's a pain in your right arm, or you're thinking for some reason that there should be pain in your right arm. So there are lots of ways we can find ourselves in a situation which is psychosomatic, where the mind is actually controlling the body, and we think it's something wrong with the body. It's actually not. It's something in our thinking that's actually causing that. That's a great candidate for hypnosis. As far as changing your life for the better and self-forgiveness, yep, I have recordings on all of that, Yvonne, so you can definitely check that out. Changing your life, forgiving yourself, enhancing your life and your health. I have recordings for all of that. So yes, Yvonne, that can definitely help, and thank you for that question. Jahira says, good and beautiful afternoon, Dr. Steve. All right, thank you, Jahira. Michelle says, hi, Dr. Steve, just wanted to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Your videos and your hypnosis is working wonders, and actually have OCD, and I'm almost off of my medications. Many blessings. Well, thank you, Michelle. Be sure to get off the medications only with your prescribing doctor's blessing. But if you are having that tremendous success, and anyone else who's having success with my programs, please go ahead and send a testimonial to office@stevegjones.com. Just let us know the recording you used, let us know the success you had, and if you want to include a picture, fine, and we will go ahead and put that on my website. So Michelle, thank you for that. Again, the email to send that to is office@stevegjones.com, and congratulations, Michelle, outstanding. So it says, hello, I'm listening to your Unlimited Confidence recording for about 10 days now. I do feel a change happening within me. This is great. I am trying to grow my wealth and abundance. Well, don't try. You are growing your wealth and abundance. How can I deepen this further, and what other recording do you recommend? Should I add in other things like subliminal to speed this up? I think subliminal recordings would be outstanding. Let's see, what are you using? Grow your wealth and abundance. So listening to Unlimited Confidence. So you'll also want to listen to Wealth and Abundance. I have recordings for both of those things. So you'll want to listen to those, and getting the daytime versions of those, or the subliminal versions of those would be fine also, of confidence, wealth, and abundance. Those would be outstanding ideas as well, Sobit. I say just hit it from every angle possible. Why not? Why not some in the daytime and some in the nighttime? So excellent, Sobit. Congratulations on that. Lots of good stuff. And if you want to send a testimonial, feel free to also. Love to get the word out there. Locken says, good night, Steve G. Jones from Morocco. All right, thanks for joining us. Harusia says, good evening, Dr. Steve. Always good to see you here. You too. Liliana says, do I need to be a psychologist or therapist to practice NLP? I do not believe so. Check with an attorney, but I do not believe so. Or can I practice it without being one? I believe you can. Also about hypnotherapy. Can anyone benefit from hypnotherapy? Yes, anyone can benefit from it. If the therapist has an accent, that can be debatable because the person may not be able to process the words. For example, Spanish or Russian accent speaking in English. You know, if their accent is okay and if they're still pronouncing the words correctly so that the person's subconscious mind can hear them, that's absolutely fine, Liliana. Thank you for those questions. Lindy says, hi, Dr. Steve, do you have any thoughts on the unconscious mind during surgical anesthesia? I do have some thoughts. The unconscious mind is accepting, when we talk about surgical anesthesia, we're talking about the idea of going through surgery. There's the ability to go through surgery using just hypnosis. And what you want to realize is that it's not for everyone. You want to talk to the surgeon about this. I doubt that any surgeon would agree to it, actually. Sometimes a dentist might, if you don't want to have, you know, something injected to control the pain. I sincerely doubt any surgeon would agree to this, to operate on you without you having any pain control whatsoever, other than hypnosis. But my thoughts about the unconscious mind during surgical anesthesia would be that the subconscious mind is doing its job to make sure the pain doesn't get through. And thank you for that question. I have something here that I want to show everybody, and let me pull this up, because this is a gift that was given to me by someone to as a decoration based on one of these Facebook Live things that I did. So it was a wonderful, wonderful gift. I did not expect it. I did not ask for it. I am very honored to have received it. I do not know much about the person sending it other than she's a wonderful person. So let me go ahead and set this up a little bit, and then we'll get back to the questions. But recently I was in Elliott Bay, which is in Seattle, Washington, and a wonderful place. It wasn't even time for me to do a broadcast. I was just inspired. There I was, and it was just beautiful. And you can go back and watch that broadcast on Facebook, on my Facebook Live videos. And we also put it on YouTube. And there I was, and it was just wonderful. And I was feeling so inspired because I thought, this is the stuff that my hypnosis recordings are made of. And so I was at the coast in Seattle, Elliott Bay, which is part of the Central Basin region of the Puget Sound. So I was, but it's essentially in Seattle. So you're in Seattle, you go to the water, Elliott Bay. And it's just a beautiful place. And so I did the broadcast. It was a little cloudy, but the clouds, you know, in Seattle, the clouds just somehow work. They look just right. So Pam Miller is an artist who was watching that broadcast, among other people, and she got inspired because I was inspired. And she created what's called a triptych. Now, a triptych is a set of 3 associated artistic, literary, or musical works that are intended to be appreciated together. So in other words, she sent me 3 paintings, and they're different sizes. Small, bigger, biggest. And she painted these and sent them to me, and I, rather than holding them up for you, because I only have 2 hands and there are 3 of them, plus I don't know if they'd all fit in here, I took a picture of them. I put them on a blanket and took a picture of them. So I want to show them to you. I also want to tell you Pam's website, which is Pam Miller, PAMMILLER.co.uk. So Pam, feel free to put that in. I saw you a moment ago, you're on there, so go ahead and type that in if you want to. So PAMMILLER.co.uk. And let me show you these. Again, this is Elliott Bay. These are pictures that she painted based on my video. She just kind of looked at still shots from the video and created these. Look at that. Look at the colors that she was able to capture. So just to give you an idea, this one is approximately, I'd say about a foot wide approximately, and the other ones are smaller. So that's a triptych, 3 artistic works designed to be enjoyed together. And so I am definitely going to enjoy those. I will have them on display, and Pam, I think lots of people will be asking me about those. So again, it's pammiller.co.uk. Pam, thank you so much for creating these 3 paintings, this triptych, paintings of from my broadcast, Elliott Bay, Seattle, Washington. Thank you so much, Pam. That was absolutely wonderful. As I said, I didn't ask for it. She was inspired. I was inspired, and that's the way it happened. So now I have something forever to remember that special moment. So I really appreciate that, Pam. Okay, and let's go ahead and check in, see who else we have, see which questions we have. I see people typing things such as nice painting and wow, yeah, good stuff. So pammiller.co.uk. And if you're just joining us, go ahead and like this video, go ahead and share it. Somebody just said lovely paintings. Absolutely beautiful paintings. I agree. And go ahead and subscribe. I believe that button's up there. You'll be able to find out when I'm on next. I'm on 3 days a week answering your hypnosis questions. And every now and then doing something a little different, such as showing Pam Miller's artwork. Thank you again, Pam. Ida says, good afternoon. Well, good afternoon to you too. Harusia says she's going to watch at night. All right, that sounds good. You can always watch these later. Chantel says hello. Hello to you. Patana says hello. Patcha, good morning to you too. Chantel, hello. And Angie, good evening from SC, I believe that's South Carolina. Namita says, hello, good morning from Thailand now, and thank you so much for you make a good video. Have a great, wonderful day. Happy into work day for you, dear Dr. Steve. Well, thank you, Namita. Thank you for being here. Ruben says, hello, Dr. Steve. I asked my SW about doing hypnosis, and now, can you tell me what SW, do you mean social worker, perhaps? About doing hypnosis, and she told me that hypnosis is dangerous because it enters in subconscious, which is our safe mode. I want to use it for getting all my cognition back. My psychiatrist didn't give me an answer, but after I asked him, but he did send my best friend to hypnosis. He never did that before. Us open-minded, and you said to my unusual ways to treat myself. I was a plant, both physically and cognitively, 3.5 years ago, because I worked day and then it cut it off. Okay, so it sounds like what happened, Ruben, is you asked your SW, which I think is social worker, and they advised against hypnosis. Not so sure that hypnosis is the area of a social worker. I've worked with social workers, and social workers are usually planning on getting patients transported to their therapy and organizing things in their lives in a social way. So not so sure that the social worker, if that's what SW means, would be the best person to ask in this particular case. Nothing taken away from social workers, it's just not their area of expertise. But you did say your psychiatrist referred your best friend to hypnosis, so that's good. A psychiatrist, of course, is far more highly trained than a social worker. A psychiatrist is actually a medical doctor with a specialty in helping with mental challenges. So that's, I would definitely lean more toward that. So that sounds good, that your psychiatrist, although he did not answer your question about hypnosis, he referred your best friend to hypnosis. That's good. And we see a lot of that happening. We see a lot of people who understand the power of hypnosis referring people to hypnotherapists. So Excellent. Thanks for sharing that. Francisca says, I have seen and listening yesterday to your new video on YouTube. So great. Thank you very much, dear Dr. Steve. Well, thank you, Francisca. Liliana says, what's the difference between hypnotherapy and Ericksonian hypnosis? Okay, that would be a long answer, but essentially Milton Erickson, as opposed to, I believe it was Erik Erikson, the psychologist, who's actually more well known than Milton Erickson. But Milton Erickson was a medical doctor who practiced hypnosis also and set a lot of the early groundwork for a lot of things that developed later. He contributed extensively, perhaps without realizing it, to neurolinguistic programming, for example, and he set the groundwork for a lot of language patterns that we use, one of them being metaphors. So to make Ericksonian hypnosis simpler, it deals with metaphors. That's one very simple way to say it, because it deals with a lot more than that. Whereas hypnotherapy doesn't necessarily deal with metaphors. You can hypnotize someone without using a metaphor. But I do have programs in each. I have certification programs in each if you want to look those up. You can go to hypnosiscertified.com. I believe you'll find them there. Or you can just Google Steve G. Jones Ericksonian Hypnosis Certification or Steve G. Jones Hypnosis Certification. Learning the real answer to the question will require you to learn both of them in depth. But on the surface, I can tell you that the basic distinguishing point between Ericksonian hypnosis and regular hypnosis, if I were going to give you a sound bite as I would in a radio interview, I would say Erickson used metaphors, and mainstream hypnosis, we're not necessarily using metaphors, we're just programming the person. So there you go. Thank you, Liliana, for that question. A very in-depth question, whether you realized it or not. So I appreciate you throwing it out there. Nick Fanun says, hello, good morning from Thailand. Hello to you. Caroline says, I really need to reprogram my mind for breaking through barriers. Outstanding. My unlimited confidence recording and my unlimited motivation recording should help you tremendously, Caroline. So thank you for that. Carol says, good afternoon. Jeff says, hello, Dr. Steve and the wonderful group. Yes, good to be here. Good to see everyone here. Jeff has been around with us for quite some time, I think since the beginning, which wasn't that long ago. But we are forming a cohesive group that cares about each other and also gets things done. And hey, we have some fun sometimes too. Chantel says, good afternoon. Hello to you. Debbie says, how could a person use hypnosis to overcome internal anger? Well, I do have a hypnosis recording for overcoming anger, but essentially, I don't really want to offer a training here on how to use hypnosis as if I'm training hypnotherapists to overcome anger, because I think it would be incomplete and might leave more questions than answers. But essentially, you can go to a hypnotherapist for that, or you can get a hypnosis recording on that, Debbie, and it just essentially teaches you new ways of dealing with that anger, channeling that energy into a positive direction, preferably something creative rather than destructive. So thank you for that. Angie says, what's the best way to know when you are on? Meaning when I am on live, on Facebook Live, I believe you mean. I use a laptop only and don't always get the notifications and hate to miss your talks. Angie, I don't have an answer for you. That's all controlled by Facebook. So if their notification system doesn't work on a laptop, I don't have a solution for you beyond that. The times I'm on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, as you probably know, but the times that I'm on in those days, that varies, and I don't have a set schedule for you or a way of notifying you ahead of time. But as with everything in technology, I'm sure that will change next week. Brenda says, there are apps on my phone for hypnosis. Are you going to do any? Yes, I have a hypnosis app. It's called Dr. Steve, and feel free to check it out. Jeff says, in NLP, you teach using touch as the method of anchoring. Could different lights or sounds be used instead? I spent my first career as an electronics engineer / inventor. There are now many ways to perform a similar merging technique using different senses. Does touch have a unique effect in NLP, or could other senses be used? Well, other senses can be used, Jeff, and NLP is not one of those areas that that we have a lot of solid research on from universities. NLP is something that was created by Richard Bandler and John Grinder, two very, very intelligent people, two very knowledgeable people who did a lot of work on laying the groundwork of this. These are people who are genuinely interested in helping people change. But the body of knowledge we have in NLP is vast, and the amount of scientific study that's been done on it is relatively small. If the NLP world is this big, the body of research knowledge that we have about it is probably this big. So a lot of it comes down to learning NLP and then using it on your clients, finding out what works. Sometimes the best fit for one client isn't the best for another client, so it really comes down to that. And Jeff, we probably won't have that kind of data anytime soon, or perhaps ever, because research institutions, Carnegie research institutions, like the one where I got my doctorate, they are interested in doing research, usually of the kind that's funded by private industry or by the government, so they can get the big money in there and do the big research. Usually that is not at least not directly in NLP or even hypnotherapy, unless it relates to marketing. There's a lot of marketing research. Robert Cialdini has done a lot of research. I believe he's at Arizona State University. He has done a lot of research on influence, which we could say is partially hypnosis and NLP, but it's primarily psychology. And so he's done a lot of research with his research subjects on that. So to answer your question, Jeff, I don't know. I don't know if anyone will ever be doing that research, and maybe you can be the one. Maybe you can be the pioneer. So thank you for sharing your knowledge, Jeff, and your question. Larita says, "Hi, Steve. I'm struggling to promote/market my hypnotherapy business. I live in a small village and don't have a big income to pay for a lot of advertising. Do you have any advice?" Well, I was just talking with my friend Kevin Harrington the other day on the phone a couple days ago, and we were actually working on a program that we're creating, and we addressed that very thing. One of the questions I asked him was, how did you become so successful? And he talked about leverage, starting small, starting in your hometown, starting with whatever you have, getting a buzz going, get written up in a local newspaper, get on local TV, and leverage that. Use that and say, hey, I was on this, now can you put me on this? And then you can get on this higher level of TV with more people and so forth. So it doesn't take money. It takes the desire to get things done, and that's the way you do it. Also, the internet. I mean, we've got the internet now, so it doesn't matter how small your small town is. Joe Vitale lives in Wimberley, Texas. Very small town. I think when I go there, I see maybe 5 or 10 houses and a lot of beautiful rolling hills land. And you may think, how did someone who lives in that remote place with deer in the front yard become so successful and a worldwide known, renowned, loved author? How did he do that in a small town? Well, the internet. So you have the internet also. Take advantage of that, use it, and let go of the small town idea, because any town can be big now with the internet. Thank you for that question. Gonna have to wrap up in a little bit, by the way. Take a few more questions. Adriana says, I am angry. Jerry and I were yesterday at the vet doc. They said that he's 8 to 9 weeks old and didn't got all his unworming before. We've started to unworm him, and with ending up tomorrow, he likes water. All right, so Adriana has shared with us some challenges that she is having with her dog and her vet, and more power to you, Adriana. I'm sure that will work out. And then there's some sort of link to a picture, which I'm not able to click on now, or it'll take me right out of Facebook Live, and we don't want that. So hope everything works out well, and thank you for being here. She says, be sure to smile. I'm smiling. So thank you, Adriana, for checking in with us. Angie said, can hypnosis help getting over disappointments in life? Absolutely. Nothing heals quite like time. Time is your best friend when it comes to getting over disappointments and moving on. But hypnosis can help. If you're really feeling down, you need to go to your medical doctor, though, Angie. You need to talk to your medical doctor about that. There may be something of more of an advanced nature that needs to be addressed. Thank you for that question. Adriana says the link is a picture of Jerry in my blanket and his. All right, Adriana, thank you for sharing that. John says, hi from Manila. Is there hypnosis for flu? No, there's not. I don't have a flu hypnosis recording. You know, I have found that I get the flu shot every year. I'm not advocating it. I know some people are against the flu shot. I get the flu shot every year. In the years I've gotten the flu shot, haven't gotten the flu. So next year, talk to your medical doctor about that. I just go to a pharmacy. I don't even need to go to my medical doctor. I go to a pharmacy and they give me the flu shot every year. You know, the flu is something that usually will work its way out. I do have a recording for Perfect and Radiant Health that certainly wouldn't hurt to listen to while you're going through the flu. So thank you for that, John C. Appreciate the question. Ulysses says, well, got to go. I'm at work. Nice to had seen you for today. All right. Thank you, Ulysses. Chantel says, my phobia is cleaning all the time. Does it work with hypnosis? So you're afraid of cleaning all the time? Hypnosis would help with that. I wasn't quite clear on what the challenge was there, but hypnosis can help you overcome fears, definitely. Don't have a recording on overcoming the fear of cleaning all the time, but hypnosis will help overcome fears and help with your motivation. Tiffany says, John, don't get the flu shot. See, told you it's controversial. James says, hello from Utah. Hello, James. If you haven't seen the video of James teaching me how to bend a spoon yet, I believe you can see that on YouTube by Googling James Daly, D-A-Y-L-E-Y, and Steve G. Jones. And I believe you'll see the spoon bending video where James taught me recently in Las Vegas how to bend a spoon. And it says, Dr. Steve, smile. All right. Thank you for that. Josephine says, good evening, Dr. Steve. I'm watching you live now. Excellent. Caroline says, if you're having a local anesthetic, listening to music is a good idea. All right. Yvonne says, Steve, is sleepwalking also a hypnosis state? Yes, well, the stages of sleep are no different than the stages of hypnosis. So we would have to say that, yes, you are in a state of hypnosis when you are sleepwalking. In fact, we call people who are very suggestible somnambulists, which means sleepwalkers. So they tend to be very suggestible. Anna says, Seattle was beautiful. I loved your broadcast from the kitchen. All right. Yeah, I was broadcasting from, if you go back and watch that broadcast, I was in the kitchen of a hotel room that I was staying at in Seattle, Washington, and you could see the Space Needle. You could also see the red bricks of the hotel. It's an older hotel, which those are always the cool ones. And so I'm glad you enjoyed that. I enjoyed making that. Lindy says, thank you, Steve. So the unconscious mind is, in your opinion, unaffected by anesthesia. I did not say that. I believe the subconscious mind, if you're using hypnosis as anesthesia, the subconscious mind is the driver of the anesthesia. If you're talking about a drug helping with anesthesia, then the drug is the driver. As a hypnosis practitioner, I think the nurses, I ask the nurses to say, that's right, throughout surgery. I tend to wake up feeling much better, and I have been using hypnosis to manage cancer treatment and recovery in the last few years, heading into reconstruction surgery in a week or so. Outstanding, outstanding. I love your, that's right. Excellent, Lindy. Thank you for sharing that. And good stuff. I'm glad to hear things are going well for you, and hang in there. Chantel says sweet. Ms. Fonte says beautiful. I believe we're talking about the paintings that Pam Miller did. Absolutely. Absolutely wonderful paintings, beautiful paintings. Lots of people commented on that. Ruben says, can hypnosis hurt my gifts? I gave lots of gifts, which usually people don't, only a few. Will they be influenced? Just an example, I can heal people from the other side of the globe without knowing them. Okay, so that gets into more esoteric type questions, we may spend a broadcast talking about esoteric things, but usually in these broadcasts I want to keep it more mainstream, more grounded, so I will pass on that, but we may do a special broadcast about that. Ruben, thank you for asking. And just like the person who asked about muscle testing, because that would take us sort of out of the realm of talking about mainstream practical applications of hypnosis. But I do appreciate the question and thank you. And that is a possibility for a future broadcast with someone who specializes in that. Marlon says, hey, Dr. Steve G. Jones, good night and thank you. Thank you, Love Jones. All right, Marlon, thank you. Chantel says, I love the paintings. Absolutely. Chantel. Lillian says, nice paintings. All right. Pam Miller, who is the artist who did the paintings that I showed earlier. If you missed them, be sure to watch the replay so you can see them. Pam says, can you also see them? You can also see them on my Pam Miller Fine Artist page, which is the website that I mentioned earlier, Pam-Miller. So it looks like it's pam-miller.co.uk. So I previously said Pam Miller. Was I reading this correctly? No. It says Pam Miller. So Pam, do you have, just so we don't confuse anyone, do you have pam-miller.co.uk and pam-miller.co.uk? At any rate, if someone's looking for Pam Miller, if one doesn't work, use the other one. So thank you for being here, Pam Miller, and thank you for your outstanding paintings. Elsa says, hello, Dr. Steve. How are you today? Doing great, thank you. Abir says, good evening, Dr. Steve. Thank you, Abir. Arbor says, Dr. Steve, how to stop thinking what other people think about you. I'd recommend my Unlimited Confidence session for that, Arbor. It's going to really allow you to get out of the idea of assessing yourself based on what you think other people think, which can slow you down, and really getting into following your heart, following your passion, doing what you know needs to be done because of confidence. So thank you for that question, Arbor. Abir says, do you have online sessions? Yes, I have about 9,000 hypnosis recordings, and you can pretty much Google anything you want and put Steve G. Jones in there and you should be able to find something about it. Francisca says, and thank you for that question, Abir. Francisca says, I have listening and see your videos on YouTube. I have sleep as a baby so much. Great, thank you very much. Your amazing hypnosis. Well, thank you, Francisca. And again, for you or anyone else, if you're having success using my hypnosis recordings in particular, please go ahead and send a testimonial to office@stevegjones.com. We want to show the world the success that people have. We also put scientific studies on the website because I realize that testimonials are probably the least scientific form of evidence that you can have, but it's good to see that people are having success, and that really helps. People get put at ease when they see people having success and encourages them. We also, on my website, we work very diligently at searching scientific studies about hypnosis so that we can put those on there also. And those are the gold standard, of course. You have a scientific study, a well-done scientific study by a good journal, and we put those on the website also. But your testimonials are always very helpful. Thank you so much. And congratulations on having success and sleeping like a baby. Can't beat that. Pam Miller, the artist, says, thank you very much for your kind comments about the paintings. I am so pleased you like them. Love them. I hope they give you many years of pleasure. By the way, the paintings may look better with the largest first, the smaller last. You can see them displayed on my Pam Miller Artist Facebook page. All right, so another place you can check them out, and you can even apparently check out the paintings that Pam Miller made for me. So thank you, Pam. I appreciate that. Feel free to tag me in that, by the way. That's just wonderful. What a wonderful person. Thank you, Pam Miller. Yvonne says, oops, my line was cut. Wow, thanks for showing us the nice paintings. You're welcome. Pam says, okay, Pam Miller says, sorry, my website is pammiller.co.uk without the dash. Okay, we've cleared it up. No dash. So it's Pam Miller, 2 M's, pammiller.co.uk. If you want to see her paintings, check her out. I can give you a personal testimonial there. She is outstanding. Teresia says something in, I believe, hello from Germany. Hello. Said it in German. James DeLay says, thanks, Pam Miller. I'll check it out. All right. Anna says, it was great to see you, Dr. Steve. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, Anna. Thanks for being here. Kathy says, my mom's veterans doctor is going to look you up. He amazed at her blood pressure from your hypnosis. Excellent, Kathy. Thank you for that. Glad to get the word out there about hypnosis. Leah says, great explanation, Dr. Steve. Thank you. My pleasure. Christian says, do you have recordings on someone being a controlling person? If so, let me know. We do have, maybe not something titled exactly that, but we probably have something similar to that. Go ahead and I would email customer service. Go ahead and email office@stevegjones.com and ask them what would be the best fit for that. Out of my 235 topics, they'll be able to work with you a little bit, find you the best fit for that. So again, same place you can send testimonials, just email office@stevegjones.com. Abdulaziz says, greetings, Dr. Jones. Could you instruct us on how to listen to the omniliminal recordings? Should we be in a reclining and relaxing position when listening to this type of recording, or should we listen to it when listening to a subliminal recording? Okay, so my omniliminal recordings are not designed to be listened. You don't need to, they're not hypnosis. They're just music and they're positive programming. So you can listen to them anytime, anywhere. And you don't need to listen to them with a subliminal recording because you'll just be doing the same thing. So, or doing too much, doing more than you need to. So either an omniliminal or subliminal, but not at the same time. Some people may be wondering, what's an omniliminal? What's a subliminal? We can Google that information and find out. But they're essentially non-hypnosis recordings that are designed to be listened to during the day. So you don't need to be in a relaxing position while listening to them. Thank you for that question. Katrina says, good evening. Hello to you. Loretta says, thanks for your answer. You are welcome. Ali says, thank you. Good evening. My pleasure. Ms. Fonte says, to what extent will hypnosis, Steve? Going to need a rewording on that, Ms. Fonte. To what extent will hypnosis, Steve? Not sure what that means exactly. Tashima says, good afternoon. I know what that means. Good afternoon to you, Tashima. Yvonne says, getting ready for work now. Good to see you live today, Dr. Jones. Stay well and smile. All right. Ursula says, hi, glad to see you. My question is it coincidence that the points to anchor an NLP often equal to the reflex points for electroacupuncture, the meridians? And by the way, I join your broadcast. Thanks. Ursula, I didn't create NLP. John Grinder and Richard Bandler did. So I don't know if they had in mind that they would coordinate that they would make the some of the points in NLP the same as the meridians that are used in Chinese medicine. That's a question you'll have to take up with them. Offhand, I would think no, that it is just coincidence. In fact, the answer is yes, it is coincidence, but you'll have to take that up with them to find out the answer, the definite answer. Jeff says feng shui for cleaning, perhaps. Okay, I do have a feng shui recording that you can use, and it definitely can help you with cleaning and give you a system for organizing, in fact. Janie says, glad to hear from you again. Always happy to see you. See the real you. God bless you. All right, Janie, good to see the real you too. Diana has joined. Abir says, I don't know if you're seeing my text. I wanted to know if you do online sessions. I would really want to have one. I do online sessions, if you mean hypnosis over the phone or hypnosis through Skype. The cost might be somewhat prohibitive, though. I would definitely steer you in the direction of either getting a custom recording from me or getting just a pre-recorded hypnosis session that already exists that you can download as an MP3. You can email support about that if you have any more questions about that, which would be office@stevegjones.com. Catalina says, only said hello to you. All right, hello to you, Catalina. Shervin says, the government doesn't want us to use hypnosis because it is powerful and they will be selling less pharmaceutical products. I don't know about that. I appreciate you sharing your opinion. People must have more faith in hypnosis and in the power of the mind as it really works. Okay. Well, Shervin, my personal opinion, I don't take such a strong stance against medicine and against the pharmaceutical industry. I believe that ultimately people are good and they want to help each other. I believe that sometimes money can get involved, yes, but overall we do have federal agencies that overlook these things that are run by humans, and so we have the ability to control them to some degree. Yes, money plays a part sometimes, but I do believe ultimately that people want to get to the best answer, get to the best solution, because what people create for one person, they're creating for everyone. So it's not as if people in the pharmaceutical industry can just go after one group of people. What they do affects everyone, which includes their relatives and their friends. So my belief is that everyone really wants to do the best thing. And sometimes going the medical route with pharmaceuticals is the best approach. As a hypnotherapist, I will plainly say that. Sometimes that is the best approach for certain people in certain conditions. So I don't really hold this conspiracy idea that the government's out to get us or anything. I think that for the most part, people are people. There are going to be some people who do the right thing, some people who don't, but overall, we're all working on getting the right answer and getting people the help they need. And beyond that, you have the choice to make. When your medical doctor tells you something, they've advised something, but you have a choice to make, and we do have free will. So that's ultimately what saves the day, no matter what. So Shervin, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Nadia says, love you. All right, well, I love you all too. Aber says, thank you, Dr. Steve. My pleasure. Caroline says, the unlimited confidence recording does work, and I use it before a spiritual church service. Excellent. Well, thank you for that, Caroline. Adriana says, your smile is infectious, and sure I am smiling. Wish you could see me personally and also to see Jerry someday in Berlin, Germany. I am glad he's drinking water every time when he wakes up and plays a bit. All right. Well, I am glad to hear that Jerry, the dog, is doing well, and thank you for checking in, Adriana. We appreciate that. Christian says, thanks. You are welcome. Ursula says, and wow, hypnosis makes sense to combine words and touch. If you could reword that for me, Ursula. Says, and while is in all caps, while hypnosis makes sense to combine words and touch, and a lot of question marks. I don't quite understand that question. If you could reword it, I'll be glad to answer it. James says, my mother is having issues with her short-term memory. She is seeing a doctor about it and agrees that hypnosis is a great form of relaxation and stress reduction. What forms of hypnosis would be helpful for her short-term memory issues? I recommend my recording on improving memory. James, I think that'll be your best bet. That'll be her best bet. A recording for improving memory. I don't have a short-term memory versus long-term memory recording, so just my hypnosis recording for improving memory. Thank you for that, James. Thank you for sharing that, and I'm glad your mother is on board with this type of help. Sonia says, hi, Dr. Steve. For a long time, I don't see your broadcasts. All right, here you are. You made it. Tiffany says, hypnosis is awesome. Government, however, is not. They do not want us brainwashed. The government is run by humans. Also, the power is in the people. In the majority, keep using hypnosis. It really does help. All right, Tiffany, well, thank you for that. And Christian says, 2 more chemo sessions. All right, so if you've been with us for a while, Christian checks in from time to time about chemo and how it's going, and we're glad to see that you're pushing forward, making it happen. Outstanding. You hang in there. Oh, she says 2 more Chemo sessions, yay. All right, that's the spirit. You don't normally hear people say yay when they talk about chemo. I had my friend Frank, his dad, underwent chemotherapy for potential lung cancer and got that cleared up, and he was not saying yay, and I don't believe I would say yay either. So more power to you, Christian. Good attitude. We like that. Caroline says, will you be doing any new recordings? Oh yes, always doing new recordings. I was meeting with Joe Vitale recently at his house and his office in Wimberley, Texas. We talked about some new programs we're doing for 2017. Some great stuff, so look for that. As far as new hypnosis recordings, no new hypnosis recordings just yet, nothing in the works. Usually what I do is I save up for 6 months to a year. People ask, do you have this, do you have that? I save up, get the list, and then I produce it all at one time. So we'll wait till that list builds up. I'm gonna wrap up here in a few minutes, by the way. My goodness, I've been on here for an hour. Time flies. I mean, time literally flies. There's an effect in hypnosis called time distortion. When you're in hypnosis, you may not know how long you've been in because time seems to move differently. And so sometimes people can be in hypnosis for 5 minutes and think it's an hour, or be in an hour and think it's 5 minutes. So I've been on here for about an hour and it seems like 5 minutes because I've thoroughly enjoyed being here with everyone. Just wonderful people. I see all the thumbs up and the hearts now. I love that. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for helping us grow and learn from each other. Gabby says, good afternoon. A pleasure to see you again. You too, Gabby. Jolanta says, I am only for 10 minutes. So I'll be wrapped up within 10 minutes. So I may be out of here before you. Christian says, no, it's not nice, but it will be finally finished. That's what I meant. Okay, excellent. That makes more sense. So Christian talking about the chemo. Glad it will finally be over. Only 2 more sessions. All right, outstanding. Sonia says, can you speak a bit about the new recordings? Sure, before I go, Joe Vitale and I are creating we created the wealth, we created the wealth trigger 1, 2, and 3. 3 was called 360. And we also created the wealth trigger 4, the 4th dimension process. That is going to blow your mind. That's something that Joe came up with, and we presented it together in Las Vegas and filmed it. So the 4th dimension process is coming out soon, perhaps even before 2017. In 2017, you can look for Joe Vitale and I to create the Master Law of Attraction Certification Program and the Trainer Law of Attraction Certification Program. So we're going to take things up a notch. We've got a lot of people out there now who've been through the Law of Attraction Certification Program who would like to be trainers and who would like to be masters of it. The ones who've gone through advanced, they want to go higher. So we've got master and trainer coming out. So look for that. We are almost done with that. Then, of course, the marketing team gets geared up to promote everything, to let all of our affiliates know what's going on. And so we'll have just a massive launch for these, and it's going to help people get to the next level. And that's what Joe and I are very excited about, helping people improve their lives. And with the trainer program, we're helping people who want to help other people. So talk about paying it forward. We've got a lot of people now who want to pay it forward, who've learned from the Law of Attraction. Now they want to give back. They want to help other people. We're inspired by that, and that's why we're creating the Law of Attraction Trainer Program. All right, and Ms. Fonte says, wonderful lecture. All right, my pleasure. Abir says, thank you. You are welcome. Caroline says, thanks for your help, and I love you. All right, I love all of you too. And let's see, Debbie says, Dr. Steve, I didn't know you were on. All right, well, here I am, Debbie. Melinda says, 2 a.m. here. Have a wonderful day. All right, you too. Christian says, thanks for being there for me. Our pleasure. And she says, all of you. Excellent. Caroline says, I will look forward to the new trainings as I want to help others. Nice. Francisca says, thank you very much, dear Dr. Steve. We are all here on Facebook. Love you so much. We all here on Facebook. Thank you. We all here on Facebook love you so much. Well, thank you. And then she says, thank you very much. You always help people. Well, Francisca, thank you. And it's my pleasure to do that. It's my pleasure to give back to the world. Sonia says, I hope you enjoy your new work with Dr. Joe Vitale. Absolutely. Joe Vitale is just, I mean, he's a wealth of knowledge. He's a lot of fun. We just have a lot of fun together. And he's just a rich resource, a reservoir of just wonderful, powerful ideas that are constantly being generated by him. So that's what it's like to be with Dr. Joe Vitale. You're in the essence of manifestation when you're around Dr. Joe, and it's yeah, Dr. Joe Vitale, outstanding guy. Anything we produce, I always get so much out of it just being around him. All right. And let's see. Okay, so that wraps up everything for this broadcast. Been here about an hour and 5 minutes. My pleasure. You're welcome. But now I'm going to get back to what I do, which is creating hypnosis programs, creating programs that help people, creating some videos and some audios. We're going to be creating some programs that help people tap into their wealth potential and their ability to move forward. So I'm going to get back to that now. I've enjoyed spending this time with you. Thank you all so much. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead and like this video, share this video, subscribe to this video. I'm on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as your resource about hypnosis, answering your questions live. So thank you all. Again, Pam Miller, thank you for creating those wonderful paintings. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you next time. I'm Dr. Steve G. Jones, hoping you have an outstanding day.